Know the story. Taste the history. Sell the culture. Do you have what it takes? The Charmer Sunbelt Group and Brown-Forman present the 1870 Society.
Yeah, my great-great-grandfather, his name is George Garvin Brown, he had a great idea. At the time, bourbon whiskey obviously was a very big category in the mid to late 1800s, but it was all coming in on barrels, being shipped down the Mississippi, and a significant amount of whiskey was constantly being stolen by the time it got to a bar, so you never really knew what you were drinking. So he had the idea to perfect a craft that was already taking place in Scotland with Scotch and Irish whiskey, and to actually bottle bourbon whiskey, which at the time was a very, very expensive process. And so he took the brand Old Forester, which is our founding brand that we founded in 1870, and he was the first to market and bottle a bourbon whiskey, which was Old Forester. And then if you look at the last almost 100 years, we've had a very intentional attitude from our family and senior leadership about keeping the family involved. And the reason why is because in order for Brown-Forman to exist, in order for us to be able to have the end game be that there is no end game, our family has to stay involved. There's a reason that a number of years ago, Charmer Sunbelt chose us and we chose Charmer Sunbelt. Charmer's our largest partner globally, 23% of our US business, 13% of our global business. And a lot of it has to do with the foundation, starting with Charlie and the senior leadership. There's that family, very long-term, thoughtful, way about how Charmer looks to grow their business.
It's almost scary how culturally aligned we are together. Today, every market we operate in, we do business with Brown-Forman. They have this unbelievable long-term approach to the business, as do we. They're a multi-generational family business, as are we. They make great long-term decisions. They don't rush into things. They really think things out long-term before they do them. And they care about their people, just like we do. We won't be successful for the next 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 generations if we don't continue to build the human capital that we both have, and we both believe very strongly in that.
When I think about the Charmer Sunbelt Group, the first word that hits home is partnership. Charmer Sunbelt is our largest partner across the country, and there's good reason for that. The 1870 Society is a perfect example of the partnership between our two companies. It illustrates alignment and partnership, and it has become a very critical factor to our success.
The 1870 Society is a sales and marketing program designed to recognize superior performance from sales and management associates from both Charmer Sunbelt and Brown-Forman. At the end of fiscal year 2014, John Higgins from Brown-Forman and I were discussing ways to take advantage of the North American whiskey boom. We wanted our companies to be completely aligned on the objective, and so was born a CSG-wide comprehensive platform that included education, sales programming, as well as incentives that associates from both Brown-Forman and Charmer Sunbelt could earn. Since Brown-Forman was the first company in history to sell whiskey bottled at the distillery in 1870, Old Forester, it was John's idea to call our program the 1870 Society. Once we decided about the general idea, we had a lot of help from a team of folks that was soon to be known as the 1870 Committee, which included Robinson Brown, Robert Good, Steve Cartalecchio, and Adam Hayes.
The 1870 Society means a lot of things to me. It means A, that my work out in the market is being recognized. It means B, that we're making a difference in the marketplace. More than anything else, we're making a difference. Our brands are growing. And C, it means that we've got full commitment from Charmer Sunbelt as well as Brown-Forman, and they're providing us with the necessary tools to go out and tell our story and tell it effectively.
It's a status symbol amongst my peers. It's a recognition from people whom I work with that of an achievement of my accomplishments.
Being part of the 1870 Society means everything. I mean, it means that I'm doing something right. It means that I'm passionate, enthusiastic about the brands, and I'm representing them the right way every single day.
It's an amazing honor to be a part of it, to be a part of the first class that was inducted, to be the one person in Virginia that was selected.
Having been in the industry for a long time and actually selling Brown-Forman for about 30 years, It meant a lot to me. As soon as this program was announced to everyone and I read about it, I knew that I had to be there. I take pride in what I do and work really hard, to do things. And frankly, just being one of the old guys around, I need to let the young bucks know that the old guys still have it.
It recognizes all the hard work that I have done in the last 12 months, and it makes me want to work even harder because it shows that they appreciate all the work that I do day to day and not overlook any stuff that I'm supposed to do in my job.
To be inducted into the 1870 Society, you have to win at least one Founders Award during the course of the program. The program runs between September and April. The 1870 committee receives nominations from your management team, which we evaluate against other nominations. The associates whose nominations reach the top of the pack receive Founders Awards, which is a letter of recognition from Charles Marinoff, our CEO, as well as a bottle of whiskey that he personally selected from a single barrel at Brown-Forman in Louisville.
The 1870 Society is not about shipping cases. It's about education, creativity, activation, and being a brand ambassador.
I went back to the basics. I went to the stores, I looked at my shelves, I looked at where I had gaps in different brands like Old Forester, Early Times, Canadian Mist, and Jack Daniel's Single Barrel. I went back to basics and I looked at different sizes that I had and where the gaps I had, and I focused on getting distribution.
In the fiscal year 14, I grew my Jack Daniel's volume by 22%. I grew my accounts sold by 40%, and I grew my points of distribution by 60%.
Well, part of my presentation was programming that I'd done in my territory, and one of the things that was reflected on in the monthly newsletter that they like best were my Jack Honey and Julep cupcakes that we did for Derby Day at one of my accounts.
It is also about celebrating and sharing success. Inductees celebrated at the Brown-Forman Charmer Sunbelt President's Meeting at the Inn at Perry Cabin in St. Michaels, Maryland.
I love the fact that you had senior leadership from Charmer, Charlie Marinoff in particular, but also Greg Baird, the whole group in a small setting with these winners. All the presidents were there. I don't think any of the winners expected it to be that intimate.
I'm a first-year sales rep, and I got to have Charlie Marinoff try one of my Corbel champagne cupcakes and have dinner with John Higgins and hang out with you all weekend. I mean, it's crazy the people that I met and that now know my name.
I think what I enjoyed the most about it was the initial night that we were there, when Charlie was there and all the presidents and representatives from Brown-Forman, and they had this dinner for us and presented us with the ring and taking our pictures and talking about what an elite group we are. That night you can't duplicate.
The looks on the inductees' faces when we had our event on the Eastern Shore this year, the first annual event, it's something I've been in the industry 35 years. You don't see that very often. It was infectious, it was fun, and everybody was all in. And the looks on the faces of the significant others and husbands and wives was real pride in their significant other that had won the award. It was really cool. And both teams win the same thing. The Brown-Forman people can win the same award as the Charmer Sunbelt people, and then again, cultural alignment. It just brings us closer and closer together. It was wonderful.
I'll tell you what was fun about it was getting together with all of the presidents. We are together twice a year at meetings where we meet from morning till night, get up early and meet all night long again. We usually stay at beautiful venues and just get to look out the window. Well, this was a different story. It was nice to see how proud the presidents were of their individual people and what they achieved. And it was just very relaxing and very nice to see our presidents in this sort of setting.
The award ceremony was fantastic. It really made us feel welcome and appreciated.
The experience that we all had, putting all of our hands together and having them taking pictures of our ring and everybody getting together was something that I don't think I'll ever be able to experience again, because it was the inaugural of the 1870 Society.
We went sailing on the Chesapeake Bay, which was awesome. It's the first time my wife and I had ever been in a sailboat, so we thoroughly enjoyed that. Would love to experience that again sometime.
the ring is a symbol that you were at the dinner and you're part of the society, and it really is tight-knit. When you walk out around, I was fortunate enough to have 4 people there, and it was really kind of neat to be able to see. Every time I've seen them, they've had the ring on since then.
What this ring displays is an opportunity to share our story. So it's not a week that goes by that I don't have a chance to explain to a retailer or a key customer about this ring.
You can't buy this. You have to earn this. This is priceless.
You know, passion goes a long way when it comes to something like induction into the 1870 Society. It's evident in every society member that I've ever interfaced with in talking about the Brown-Forman portfolio and their successes with the portfolio. And so you can't underestimate that. I think it's a very critical component. So wear your passion, drive your business, and I think that'll go a long way towards putting together really good, solid programs for induction.
It's not a one and done deal. It is a long-term program that involves all sorts of work and brand building across multiple brands. It's not a one-shot deal. You can't be great this month and then be terrible the next month. You've got to be consistently excellent across a long period of time to be considered to be inducted into the 1870 Society.
Just tell our story. More than anything else, just tell our story. Just educate any and everyone that you encounter about our brands, and taste, taste, taste. You gotta sample the products.
Do some research. Find out the history of the brands that you represent. And then go out there with honesty and determination and let your customers know that you're giving them an opportunity to buy the products that you represent, which have a heritage, a family, a history, a name. You're not just selling another product, you are selling a culture.
The 1870 Society. Are you worthy?